I've come here to Switzerland as part of getting ready for the Takeover Europe event, and you might wonder, why am I here with a Apollo lander in front of the Omega factory? And that's because I got an opportunity to have a great tour here today. And I don't know if you are aware or not, but Omega and the NASA space program, going back to the Apollo days, maybe even before that, have a lot of commonalities, and they both played a big role in the moon landing. Of course, because of that, with their watches that were used by the astronauts throughout most of the early space program and the moon landings, including Neil Armstrong's landing on the moon with Apollo 11, they have a long tradition with NASA and this lunar lander, along with an amazing museum here for a lot of the space program, some of the connections they have with the watches that played a big role with that, and a lot of other amazing displays, including a mock-up of a lunar lander that I got a chance to sit in and pretend like I was driving around on the moon, to many of the models of the watches that they used. There's also some spacesuits and just a lot of really great space history here. And you may not really think about Omega in that way, but if you do come to Switzerland, I definitely recommend that you come over here to the factory, take a look at the museum, and just enjoy the kind of common history between watchmaking, which is a big thing here in Switzerland, and the space program. This is the actual factory that they make the Omega watches in, and it's quite interesting to be able to see how the operations work inside. Now, this is pretty much a vertically integrated plant. They use some of their own internal suppliers to make various components that are used for the overall build of the watches. And one of the really cool things that I saw was this automated system that retrieves, tracks, and replenishes the watch components into this large vault. It is partially subterranean. They have a controlled environment inside, and it's all robotic, very similar to what we would see at, say, a battery plant up at Giga Texas or any other high-tech facility. In this case, it's for all of the various parts for the watches. Now they have millions of parts here. They also have a similar vault that has replacement parts for watches that go all the way back to the 1800s. So if you have an old Omega watch or a new one, you can get all the parts that you need. And of course, they are building them here, partially automated, but also heavily using human labor and human expertise to put all the parts together to make each individual watch. It's really quite astounding to see this, and also see that automation in work as well. So this is pretty much the only place where they are making Omega watches, and it's here in Switzerland. And one of the things that makes it really special here is that they actually have examples of the real watches that were used in the space program, and they have them right out in front in a lot of displays that you can see, and they also show it in a way that marks kind of the progression of the technology that they experimented with, and it helped with the moon landings, but also it helped with the products themselves. And one of the kind of neatest story of them all is how it began, and that was back in the Gemini program. There was Gus Grissom was doing his spacewalk, and he had a watch on that was clearly an Omega watch, but this was something that the Omega company did not realize was happening. It was actually a third-party vendor that provided the watches for NASA to choose from. And based on some of the testing that NASA did, the Omega watch actually worked well, and they used it on actual mission. During that mission, seeing the watch on the arm of Gus Grissom, Omega company saw that, and they found out, hey, our watches are actually being used, unbeknown to them. So they were able to contact NASA, and from that point on, they become the official timekeeper for the astronaut corps, all the way up through and including the Artemis mission, the Artemis 2 that just went through the lunar flyby. If you notice, all of the astronauts had Omega watches, and all of that traces its history back to that Gemini launch with Gus Grissom wearing an Omega watch. That's really cool, and that's just one of the example of many of the stories that you'll see here at the museum. So there you have it, a great day here at the Omega plant and museum, a common history of watchmaking and the space program, and it's all here in Switzerland. So I want to say thank you very much to the employees and the executives here at Omega that hosted me and allowed me to see everything. Also want to tell thank you to Pitt Hostetler, who is my guide here, a local Tesla fan. Met him back at Giga Texas several times, and now I get a chance to tour around the European countryside here at Switzerland and all the way through to my tour up at Giga Berlin and of course the takeover event. So thank you very much, Peter, for a great hospitality and just coming to events like this. So I hope that you learned a little bit about watches, the space program, and again, thanks for watching. I appreciate all your support.